Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about how to stop comparing yourself to others and feel more confident. Now, this is something that I think affects a lot of young people today, especially in the social media era, and I'm going to offer my own perspective on how you may want to approach this issue if you think it's something that affects you and holds you back. So, with that said, let's crack into it. Alright, so a few weeks ago I made a video on 3 types of motivation. I'm going to have a link to that in the description, and if you want you can check out that video first before watching this one, because this video is going to expand upon some of the ideas introduced in that video. And in that video I talk about how it's possible to be motivated or governed from this kind of assumption that you are behind, right? In some sense, behind your peers, behind your siblings, behind where people expect you to be, and I call that negative motivation. And one version of this is where your actions and thoughts and feelings are kind of determined by how they compare to other people, or how you perceive other people to be. And in this social media age, I think that this comparing is something that's very easy to slip into, right? Very easy to fall into this trap. I don't want to put the idea in your head that you're in this trap if you're not, but it's just something that I've noticed people seem to fall into. People can become genuinely emotionally invested, for example, in how many likes their photos might get on Facebook compared to others. It's like, oh, if I don't get many likes on my profile picture and they get a lot of likes on theirs, then does that mean that they're cool and I'm not cool? And if I get a lot of mine then and they don't, does that mean I'm cooler than them and that I should post more photos like that? And you have this whole kind of game that can just play around in your mind and really hold you back from just enjoying life and doing what you want to do. And it's very common. And because it's common, we kind of accept it as normal, whereas in fact it's a little bit crazy in some ways. So it's not just the fact, however, that social media puts the idea in our heads that other people are better than us or more secure or don't have their own worries and problems behind the scenes. It's also the fact that modern society thrives on competition, right? In some areas of society maybe it's not as competitive, but I think a lot of the West is quite driven and competitive, and there's a focus on proving yourself to other people. Now, I think there is such thing as healthy competition, but I'm going to wait till the final part of the video to explain what I think that actually looks like. So as I said in the video on motivation, this kind of negative headspace or this comparison with others can be an okay short-term motivator if it helps get you off the ground and begin moving in the direction that you want to move. But do you really want your whole life to be governed by that inner critic that compares yourself to others and says, I'm not as good as they are, you're not cool, you need to do something to show how cool you are to them? And if you find yourself comparing yourself to others, excessively looking up to your friends and peers and feeling like you need to prove yourself, policing and filtering your own behaviour out of wondering whether it's cool enough or proper enough or masculine or feminine enough, always wondering what others think of you, then it's likely that you have what I would call unhelpful programming installed into your brain. This is what keeps you comparing yourself to others in this kind of unhelpful manner. Now, what is the best way to deal with this situation if it's something that you think affects you? I suggest that the best way is to start becoming more aware of when and where it's at play in your life and where it holds you back. So here are some ideas to kind of meditate over or just think about play with, whatever. Firstly, if your sense of self-worth is based solely on how you compare to others and how high you get on various hierarchies in society, whether that be how successful you are compared to others, how attractive you are compared to others, whatever it may be, then it's hard to be authentically confident because you're placing the source and you're placing your attention, the source of your confidence, kind of outside of yourself, and you're kind of giving other people the power. When you compare yourself to another person and say, "Oh, I'm not good enough," but they are, you're kind of you're not finding that kind of confidence within yourself because you're thinking that it's something that's determined. You know, your self-worth is determined by something outside of you, whereas in fact you're already enough. Now, it's possible to get quite egotistical when you hear this and go off the other end and think, well, if I'm not behind everyone else, then I must be ahead of everyone else. They must all be losers and sheeple and the unawakened masses, whatever you want to call them. And you can create this weird egotistical superiority complex where your confidence is based on kind of putting other people down and just kind of sneering at them, you know, people like that who kind of just sneer, and that's not a very healthy headspace to be in either. What I found to be the most healthy way of stopping comparing yourself to others, being more confident, is this kind of, it's like a fusion of confidence but also humility. Okay, so it's like you have that sense of self-worth and you see yourself as, being valuable already, but at the same time you are you think other people are valuable too, and you're kind of open to learn from them, and they can be open to learn from you as well. It's about kind of shifting your attention away from the game of collecting social currency and towards action. What you want to do with your life, what you enjoy doing, what skills you think would be worthwhile to develop, who you want to hang around with, right? Just because you're worthy of your own respect doesn't mean you have to stop doing things or not have friendships and relationships. On the contrary, when you start to find this self-worth, you'll probably find that your friendships and your relationships become kind of stronger and deeper, and you grow together, right? But if you're solely doing things just to kind of earn social currency, it probably won't fulfill you in the end. One way in which you can kind of just check in to see where you're at regarding this is the next time you're sort of posting something on social media, so on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it might be, you can just ask yourself, just go, am I posting this because I want to get likes or because I'm expressing what I just want to do, right? Focus more on expression on social media, right? Express just what you want to post. Don't police yourself too much. Finally, I just wanted to say that there is a kind of healthy competitiveness in the world, I think, but it kind of feels, it's something that feels kind of fun and engaging and enlivening rather than this kind of struggle, right? If you're competing with others and it kind of feels like a struggle, then it's not necessarily the most healthy kind of competition. But if you think back to, say, if you've ever gone and played like pool at a bar or snooker or something like that, and you can get invested in it, and you can play the game and you have fun whilst doing it. You probably want to beat your friend at the game, but it shouldn't feel like this struggle, right? A game of pool or snooker doesn't feel like a struggle. It just feels like a game that you can participate in and be competitive, but not be so invested in the result that it causes you to suffer, basically. And life, from one way of looking at it, competitiveness in life is kind of about not who looks coolest or gets the most approval or status or attention, but it's about who can kind of, engage the most, who can be most authentic, okay? This is just one paradigm, lots of ways of looking at life, and that's how I see healthy competition in any sense. And that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. I'll have more content coming out every week for the foreseeable future. So if you like this, I invite you to subscribe, leave a comment in the description, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.